Problem is the challenge or issue or gap that the people face. Actually, when you go if you are determined to apply for the PhD or masters, immediately if you go to meet with your supervisor, or sometimes what happened in many universities or most of the universities, when you apply for the PhD, they immediately asked what is your research proposal. So in the beginning of the proposal, when you meet with your supervisor, immediately your supervisor asked you what is your problem, in which area you want to diagnose, you want to do your research. So problem is the most important things. If you do not have any problem, no need of research. So problem, you have to identify the problem, and identifying the problem is very important. And you are identifying there is a problem, but your identification not enough. It must be identified by somebody's studies, somebody's study. This problem is coming from these problems comes from it is a burning issue in that area, in that industry, and that burning issue is talking by your government, your news reporter, and different researchers, TV anchors. So it should be a burning issue, and so in that way you can focus. And it is not necessarily to be taken the whole study, but as per your specialty, as per your specialization, you will focus in your area. Suppose in a problem, you have to consider all of this. The foundation, the problem is the foundation of any research. It identifies the topic, specific problem or question under study, provides justification of the study, concise, usually 1 to 3 pages. It's 1 to 3 pages in the case of PhD, maybe 1 page for the masters, and 1 para for any 1 or 2 para for or 3 paras for in the case of any research article, because here the page number is very limited. That's why you have to concise your problem in the case of a research article. Then focused or specific, consider of the scope of the project, use maximum reference to support your concern. Who says this? It is a problem. Who says this? Who says this? And it is up to date. The problem, the research, it should come from any up to date recommendation or up to date study. They are they found this problem is the problem is there. So from the existing literature, you have to find this is really a problem, and it is a current problem. And you have to follow this. When you find the problem, you have to consider all of these. Suppose, is the problem of current interest? It is continuing, it is existing now. The problem is the problem likely to continue into the future. If you do not resolve this problem, then the problem will be continued in future as well. Will more information about the problem have practical application? we need the more information about the problem for our practical application. Will more information about problem with theoretical importance, or what is the relationship there, and what are the theories are being are lacking, or studying a new theories need to implement or on there or not. So theoretical importance very important. Then how large is the population affected by the problem? Then how important, influential, or popular is this problem? Would this study substantially revise or extend existing knowledge? Would this study create or improve an instrument of some utility? Would research findings lead to some useful change in best practice? Is there evidence or authoritative opinion from others to support the need for this research? Sometimes the head of the states are talking about this. Our ministers are talking about this. Our prime minister is talking about this. So government officials are talking about it's a burning issue, and TV anchors also talking about this. So like that, you can consider all of these points to identify your problem. So when you are writing your problem, these words you can use. Suppose this is a problem, this is a challenge, issue, difficult or hard, barrier, there is a gap, need to fulfill, need or should provide, lack of or scarcity of, and then limit, limited, limitation, necessary to. These are the words that we use to identify the problem. I can show you how to write the research problem in the thesis. Suppose here you see how to identify the problem or how to write the gaps or problems. According to the report of ILO 2016, productivity gaps in different Asian countries remain considerable. They define the productivity as gross value added in current prices per employed person, where Bangladeshi garment workers' productivity is lowest, which is less than $1,000, whereas in Cambodia, India, Pakistan, Vietnam, productivity levels in garments ranged from 1,700 to 2,300. See, their productivity is 1,700 to 2,300, whereas our productivity is less than 1,000. So labor productivity of Thailand exceeded 8,000, whereas in Bangladesh it is less than 1,000, and it has more than $4,000 for Indonesia and Philippines. So it's really a problem. See, Wahid 11 study found that Bangladeshi garment manufacturers are more innovative than Pakistani garment manufacturers, but the workers' productivity is comparatively higher in Pakistan than Bangladeshi workers. In block 15 and Shobe 18, the productivity of workers in Bangladesh is lower than China, with slower group as well, which is a serious issue to compete. So all of these are coming from different study. So you have to find out who is talking about there is a problem. So when somebody identified these are the problem, then you have to say there is a problem. Who said so? You can give the reference. He said so. ILO and Wahid and blog, Shobe, in a daily newspaper of Dhaka Tribune, the president of BGME, Atikul Islam, and parliament members of Shirin Akhtar recognized low labor productivity as one of the crucial issues and addressed it is a great challenge for us to sustain an international apparel market, for which we need to increase our workers' skills, as we are one step behind of our competitors. So how we identify the problem? If you find this type of statement, then this is really a problem. So there is problem now. Now you need to diagnose it. You need to resolve it. You need to study, and you need to what is the facts inside and where we need to improve. you will give the recommendation after study based on your findings. So this is how I shall not go spend much time over here. So how to write the problem statement. See, the productivity of employees endorses rudimentary role in attaining industrial success. Who said so? This is the reference. The overall success of managers largely depends on productivity of their employees. Giving some background of yeah. For this, each managers pursues increase the productivity of their operation, which is one of the crucial elements of their overall strategy. Who says so? Solas. Improvement of workers' productivity in one industry is spilled over effect on the other industries. Who said so? Suleiman and others. Not only that, overall employee productivity improvement increase the sustainability of any industry. Improving employee productivity is not only crucial to increase the company's competitiveness, but also key to improving the national economy. So it is generally giving the idea of what is productivity. Then we, however, the employee productivity is a continuous challenge is most developing emerging economies. The presence of employee productivity problem is its growing. So it is talking about the productivity, the problem about in general. Then we come to the specifically that employee productivity is the issue is also confirmed by ILO. The various study reveals that the productivity in different ages. Same thing is coming here. The defined productivity is gross value added. So we are talking about the Bangladeshi here. All the Bangladeshi fact. We talk about the first general idea of this, and now we come to the specifically Bangladesh garment industry. What is the problem? So this is how we write the problem statement. So once we have the problem, then we determine our research questions. Actually, this is the problem we identify. Now, what the problem that we want to solve? So that's immediately we come up with the question. What is the what is research question and how to determine the research question that I shall show you. So in a research question, you have to come up with all of this. A research question is an answerable inquiries into a specific concern or issue. It is the initial step in a research project. The initial step means after you have an idea of what you want to study, the research question is the first active step in the research project. Okay. Writing a good research question means you have something you want to study. It must be specific, and specify your specific concern or issue. Decide what you want to know about the specific concern or issue. Turn what you want to know and the specific concern into a question. Ensure that the question is answerable, and check to make sure the question is not too broad or too narrow. So see from this problem statement and from the problem what the questions we can arise, and this was the questions of from that problem from that problem. By considering the above problems, the research thus attempts to identify the impact of social compliance and on employee productivity with the mediating role of employee work motivation in a garment industry. To achieve this main objective, the title is the main objective that we want to address, and for achieving that the grand objective, what is the specific objectives that we want to achieve? Number one, what is the effect of social compliance on employee productivity? See, then what is the effect of social compliance on employee work motivation? And what is the effect of employee work motivation on employee productivity? To what extent employee work motivation mediates the relationship between social compliance and employee productivity? So how we determine the title and how we identify the problem. Now how we write we formulate the research course from our problem, how we emerged the questions from that problem. So what is the current status of social compliance practice and employee? So all of these questions must be derived from the problem. Okay. So how to write the research objective? It is better the same questions to be same number of in the objective form, closely related to research question, covering all aspects of the problem. It must be very specific. Sorry. Ordered in a logical sequence. See how to write the research objective. From that research, the study aims to observe the effect of social compliance on employee productivity with the mediating role of employee work motivation. Thus, the following specific objectives are has been set to achieve the primary objective. So, from that we derive the research questions. Now, from the same questions we derive in objectively. Right, to examine the effect of social compliance on employee productivity, to determine the effect of social compliance on employee work motivation. So the questions that we have, that the things that we want to achieve in a, that we formulate as our research objective.